Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, Major Movies and TV, and today for my first episode of my Let's Talk About It series, I want to talk about the movie Nope that just came out this week. I went to go see it on Saturday with my boy Nico, and honestly, this movie was pretty good. I liked it a lot. Do I think it was perfect? No. But we're going to talk about why I think the way I think in a minute. If you guys have any of your own comments and opinions on the movie Nope and anything surrounding that movie, let me know in the comments below. And what I'm going to do is first I'm going to talk about a non-spoiler review. It's not going to be the whole video. Eventually I will get into spoilers, but I'll let you know when I do. The non-spoiler review is going to be quick because there's a lot I want to talk about with this movie unfiltered. So we're going to get through a non-spoiler review real quick and then we'll move on to spoilers. So for non-spoilers, I'd say go see this movie. If you haven't already, I assume you haven't. It's got a solid cast. All the actors do really well with their characters. It's got a good premise, deeper symbolism or a deeper metaphor that you can grab onto if you pay attention to the movie. It's a pretty solid idea for a film. I like how it all comes together. The CGI, like the effects, look really good. It's got some suspenseful scenes in it. It is not Jordan Peele's most suspenseful movie, and honestly, it's his least scary. But it still has suspenseful moments in it that are really good, and I like the story of the movie. I think it's very unique, and I think when it comes to movies like this, I think this is the best way to go about it. A lot of movies about these, I'll say aliens because that was in the trailer, but when it comes to alien movies and stuff like that, I feel like a lot of them are kind of tropey. A lot of them follow the same formula, and even the alien designs themselves get kind of samey as we go on. So I think this movie brought something unique to the alien horror movie genre. And I think it did it pretty well story wise, and I think it had a good idea that I was going for. The actors, again, they all did really well with their characters. It has comedy in it, and there were a couple times where I was laughing, but it didn't overtake the film. It didn't break any suspense or anything. It was pretty well timed. Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya, I really liked their characters. I liked the way they fed off of each other. I think Daniel Kaluuya's character, Otis, was my favorite in the film. I related to him a lot, and I found his dryness very entertaining. But yes, Stephen Yeun also did pretty well. I wish they did more with his character, but more showing the emotional impact of what happens in the film. But other than that, he did well with what he was given. There weren't any characters in this movie I disliked. Brandon Perea, I liked his character, Angel. He was pretty funny at times, and the only issue I see with this movie is that the characters, other than Keke and Daniel Kaluuya's characters, are not very memorable. Other than those two, I think those two are solid characters, but even them, you don't connect to them as much as maybe you could. I feel like there was more that they could have done with all the characters in this movie, but none of them are hateable. You don't hate them. You're just kind of watching and you're like, I feel for you, but I don't know if I really feel for you. Like, but other than that, I'd still recommend going to see this movie. It is a very well-made, well-directed movie. There are a lot of good shots, a lot of suspenseful shots with the sky and what they do with that. So definitely, if you're into horror movies and you're into alien sci-fi movies, I'd say go see this movie. It's unique in that front. So since we've gone through that part, I'm going to start talking about spoilers now so I can get a little more into details. If you don't want to be spoiled for Nope, do not keep watching, because I'm going to talk about all the spoilers. So the basic idea of this film is that I could tell was that people tried to tame animals that they shouldn't be taming for our own amusement, and we like to create spectacles and shows out of things that we really shouldn't have. I'm sure a lot of people could pick up on that. It's not a super hard message to pick up on in the movie. It's not hidden under like layers and layers of complicated shit. It's just, it's in there, and you can, as long as you're paying attention to the movie, you can figure it out on your own. The scene with Stephen Yeun's character as a kid on the set with the chimp, pretty much during this scene, Stephen Yeun plays a character on a sitcom, and this monkey named, or chimp named Gordy is also a character on the sitcom, and they use Gordy as a character on the show, and during a taping of one of the episodes, a balloon pops and Gordy just goes ham. He gets very angry and he kills, and disfigures the cast. So that scene I thought was really suspenseful. The CGI on the chimp, it was solid. That was probably the worst CGI in the movie, but it was good enough. It reminded me of Planet of the Apes a little bit, the first one. But yeah, that I like that scene still. I think it was pretty solid acting, and watching the part where Gordy is looking at the kid, but he can't see the kid's eyes, Stephen Yeun. He can't see his eyes, so he doesn't attack him. It's a big thing throughout the movie, where you don't want to look into the eyes of an animal because it'll attack you. It sees you as a threat if you do that. During the beginning of the movie, Daniel Kaluuya and Keke Palmer's dad, played by Keith David, he dies because the alien in the movie is spitting out metal objects like keys and stuff like that it's swallowed up from people, and a nickel gets shot out from the sky and digs into Keith David's character's skull and kills him. So Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya's characters, Emerald and Otis, they are taking over for his horse farm ranch business, where they do Hollywood shows and movies, and they train horses on set. So at the beginning of the movie, Otis is on set for a movie, and the movie directors and everyone else, they're not listening to him that well. And granted, he's not very good at projecting himself, which is something I relate to a lot. Just that feeling of you need to say something, but you don't know if you can. I just relate to Otis with that. It's just this, man, I gotta speak up, but I don't know if I can. I don't know. I feel awkward doing it. I don't like looking at these people because I feel threatened. And I thought that was a cool detail, is that Otis didn't want to look at these people. He felt threatened by them, so he wasn't looking them in the eye, just like with the animals. And then at one point, the Kiki's character Emerald shows up. She goes on her spiel about how her family started horse ranching from her great grandfather, because he was the first person caught on film riding a horse, and it's like a generational business there, and once they try to start filming, the film crew, they don't listen to Otis when he's trying to tell him to stop, and they put a mirror in front of the horse, so the horse freaks out and kicks one of the actors, and they deserved it at that point. They didn't listen, but so then they get kicked off of the movie, and then they're back at their place, and they notice weird things happening, like the electricity and stuff going out and everything like that. And Otis is selling off horses to Stephen Yeun's character, the little kid from the show with the chimp. As an adult, he's selling horses to him, and turns out that Stephen Yeun is using these horses to train the alien that's in the area. He's like feeding the alien horses that he's buying off of Otis and Emerald's farm, or ranch. And so Stephen Yeun didn't really learn his lesson from the experience with Gordy. He is still playing with animals, trying to tame this alien that at the time you don't know that it's actually a alien animal. It's not a ship. It's a living organism, but he thinks it's a ship filled with little aliens. So he's messing around with it, trying to train it, trying to get it to do what it wants so he can put on a show with it, create a spectacle out of it, not realizing it's an animal that can become very aggressive very quickly. And so that's that. Well, in order to make some money, in order to get back on their feet, they try to set up cameras and stuff to catch this weird phenomenon that they're seeing in the sky. They're seeing this cloud that won't move, and the alien is hiding in that cloud, and it comes out every once in a while to feed, by sucking up things into it and stuff. So that's where Angel comes in. Is Brandon Pereira's character. Angel, he comes in, he sets up the cameras and stuff. He's watching them from the store. He's watching the live feed of the cameras. He sees the weird stuff going on and then wants to get involved with it. And after that, Stephen Yeun's character, he's putting on a show for the people at his little his Jupiter claim show. He's got like this little like amusement park type thing that he runs to make money. He gives tours and stuff, and so during this he's attracting the alien. The alien is coming down, and then the alien gets pissed off. The horse that he's trying to feed to the alien doesn't look up at the alien. It just stands there. But everyone else is looking up at the alien in shock, and then they all die. When it comes to this scene, I didn't like it as much as I thought I should have, mainly because it felt like there wasn't enough that happened with it. If, like, the alien comes in, and then it, like, cuts to black or something, and then it cuts to showing the inside of the alien sucking up people up into it, and that scene, that part of that scene kind of looked a little weird, but other than that, you see Stephen Yeun's kid, one of his kids in the alien getting like digested or whatever. For one, that made me kind of question how the hell this alien's organs and insides work, because like the alien feeds from like a hole in the bottom of it, and I'm like, it's a very strange idea there. I like the alien design, but that gave me a couple questions. But so 40 people just die. Like this alien eats them all, but it doesn't show anyone dying other than the kid in the stomach, which was kind of disappointing. It would have been cool to see like people trying to run away, and then like the alien like coming over them and seeing them being sucked up from the bottom, like from the ground, and being sucked up like that, like individually, instead of this weird shot where it shows from the inside of the alien all the people getting sucked up, but they're like black shadows. And I didn't really like that. I felt like it would have been better if they showed some of the people trying to run away and then not being able to. I feel like that would be a little bit more suspenseful and more horror-like. But after that point, Kiki Palmer and Daniel's characters, Otis and Emerald, they're trying to still get the alien on camera. Otis finds out what happens at the Jupiter claim. He gets back his horse Lucky, and at that point they're trying to come up with a plan to get like a shot of him, because every time the alien comes their cameras die. So they set up this whole big plan with a director that they know to get this impossible shot. And the director luckily has a non-electric camera that he created. So they set up to try to get this shot, and they use the inflatable arm men to know where the alien is and how close it is. They set them all up on the ranch. There is actually one scene I gotta talk about before I talk about that, my bad. There was a scene that I actually liked where it's raining and the alien comes to the house, and it's just above the house and it's blocking the rain from hitting the house. And I thought that was pretty cool. And then it like rains blood down on the house from its hole in its body. I thought that was a pretty cool scene. I liked it. And then the part where the alien is above Otis in his truck after he comes back from the Jupiter's claim with Lucky the horse. That was a good scene. I liked how he just looks up at it. He's like, nope, not doing that. And I'm like, yeah, no, that makes sense. I like how the characters in this movie aren't stupid. They're not ridiculous, you know, like they're not doing anything crazy. They're just kind of looking at it. They're like, nah, we ain't messing with this thing. So yeah, I really like that part. I felt like maybe it would have been cooler if the alien did a little more other than just hover above them. But it's pretty impressive how Jordan Peele was able to get suspense out of the alien just being there. The alien wasn't doing anything. It was just kind of existing. It was just kind of doing its thing, and it's still suspenseful. I like the scenes where the alien is like going over the mountains in the sky, and you can tell it's supposed to be like an animal running through the woods, or a shark in the water. Like it dips in and out of the mountains and out of the sky, and it's pretty impressive. I like that part. But getting back to their plan, they're attracting the alien, and what happens is this guy from TMZ just shows up, and he's on this electric bike, and he's like, he's obsessed with trying to get this news story out. So he's driving through their ranch, and they're trying to tell him like, no, don't do this. And he's driving, and then the alien shows up, and his electric bike just stops, and he flies off the bike, and then his body is just like broken, but he's still alive. I'm like, that was funny. That was comical, especially with Angel that character, he was like, you know what happens when a bike is going 60 miles an hour or whatever, and then it all of a sudden just stops, and and then it does it, and then he just flies off the bike. I'm like, yep, that's what happens. But yeah, so then Otis goes to try to help the TMZ guy. The TMZ guy is just obsessed with getting stuff recorded, and so Otis is like, screw it. You know, the alien shows up, so he's like, screw it, and then the TMZ guy gets killed by the alien. He gets sucked up into it, and then they are going through with their plan. It doesn't go exactly as planned, but what happens is the director dude, he gets some footage of it, but then he tries to go all out. He tries to get like the perfect shot, and then gets killed by the alien. You know, he tries to run out into an open area, and the alien sees him and then just sucks him up with the camera. So there goes all the footage. Angel has the idea to wrap himself in barbed wire, so when he gets sucked up, the alien spits him back out because it didn't want to eat the barbed wire. So, but then it gets pissed off, and what the alien does is it turns into like this new form that it has. It's like true form, and it's like this big balloon type of thing. And I would honestly say I am not the biggest fan of this alien's true form. It's a little too like weird and dainty, and it doesn't really make sense. Like I actually like the UFO style design more. If they were going to do a new like evolved form of it, like its true form, I feel like they could have done something a little better, but it didn't look bad. It's just kind of disappointing. It actually looked less threatening than the normal form it has, because it's so like overdone. It's so like, it looks like a dress, like part of a dress. It's really weird, like a big balloon. It's got like these like wavy things on it, and like this big eye that's like popping out, that's just like a square. It looks like a party decoration. So I'm like, I wasn't a big fan of the true form. It didn't look bad CGI wise and design wise. It just, I didn't like it as much as the normal form of it. I felt like they could have done its true form, made it a little scarier, but it does go with the spectacle type theme of the movie, because the alien then puffs out and becomes even bigger. And so the way they manage to kill the alien is that they Kiki's character Emerald, she gets on the electric bike that the TMZ guy left, and she brings it over to Jupiter's Claim, and she releases this giant balloon with a face on it, and the alien sees the balloon's face and attacks it and eats it. And because it's a giant balloon, once it gets inside the alien, it pops, and the air pressure and everything kills the alien. It pops the alien. So I like that scene. Kiki was pretty funny in that scene. She's like, you mother, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, that was kind of funny. I like that part. But yeah, so that's pretty much the whole synopsis of the movie there. Kiki's character, she eventually does get a picture of the alien, though, using this well that takes pictures. So she does get a picture of it. But yeah, so that's essentially the synopsis of the movie. What I liked about this movie is, again, the direction. The story is not bad. The characters are pretty entertaining. No character is like super emotionally connectable to. Like, they do kind of feel like just characters, but they're not bad characters. They're entertaining for the most part. Again, my favorite character was definitely Otis, Daniel Kaluuya's character. I thought he was pretty relatable. So yeah, direction and acting was pretty good. I don't see any other actor being these characters. I feel like the actors that they picked were extremely well picked, so I like that. And other than that, the CGI looked good for the most part, other than a little bit on the chimp. The chimp was a little weird, but other than that, no, this was a solid movie. I enjoyed it. My boy Nico enjoyed it. I think it's definitely the worst out of the three Jordan Peele films, but I feel like that's just because it wasn't trying to do as much, but it was still trying to do something with it. So, like, with Us, it felt like the message was, like, in the plot more. Like, it felt more together. In this one, the message and deeper meaning didn't feel as important to the plot as the other Jordan Peele films, but it did fit. It's just you really had to pay attention to the movie and really just you had to piece together the different subplots in order to get to it, instead of the main message being in the plot more obviously. So I did enjoy this movie. It is definitely the worst out of the three Jordan Peele films, but it is a very good movie. I think it's worth seeing in theaters. I think for most people, even though it's the worst out of the three, it's still, people will still enjoy it. I don't think it's super iconic. It's not gonna be like this huge, horror icon movie. It's not gonna be anything super crazy, but it is a very solid movie. I did enjoy it. I definitely enjoyed watching it. So yeah, I suggest going to see it in theaters if you can. This has been my episode of Let's Talk About It. My first episode. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if there's anything else anyone would like for me to check out. I definitely enjoyed this movie, and I'll see you guys next time.